He's been elected to the Australian Senate and is doing us so incredibly proud. Please make him feel welcome, the one and only Senator Babet.
I stand here to represent you, and I'll never stop fighting for you and for our great nation. What is the Minister doing to investigate the underlying cause of the spike in heart-related issues? Does the government still assert that the mRNA injections are still safe and effective? The worst premier in Australia's recent history. I'm proud of our country. I'm proud of our flag. I'm proud of our traditions. Victorians have had enough of the government interfering in their lives, their businesses, their homes. We come from all walks of life. Young, old, rich, poor, white, black, brown. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we're all Australians. We're Aussies. And from whatever land we come, we must speak with one voice to save our country. What research, if any, is being done to look into the cause of this alarming excess mortality? Now, the scandal is not only about Premier Daniel Andrews, Premier. Together, we will make a difference. Together, we will stand up. Together, we will create change. Together, we will make a better tomorrow. And yes, together, we will save Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Senator Babet, that's disorderly.
What a crowd! What a crowd! Thank you for coming tonight. It's great to see so many of you here. Now, I often hear people say this. They say they're not interested in politics. And I get that. There's a million things that are more interesting out there than politics. Who wants to watch a bunch of old dudes and gals in Parliament House all day chatting back and forth? But here's what I've discovered, ladies and gents. Here's the gem. Now, you might not be interested in politics. Fair enough. But guess what? Politics, it's interested in you. In you. Now, thank you, sir. Now, unlike Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk, I had no ambition. I had no ambition to enter politics, not like her. She's a lifelong politician. She's a career politician, that's what she is. She studied politics. She was an advisor to politicians. Her father was a politician, and then she became a politician. What is distinctly lacking in Anastasia Palaszczuk's resume is this: a real job, real experience. And that is the problem with politics today, with Australian politics. Our parliamentarians are typically populated. Our politics is populated by people who've never worked in the real world. And that's a huge problem, because how can they represent you if they're not one of you? If they've never lived your life? If they've never paid a bill? If they've never had a mortgage hanging over their heads like you have? If they haven't maybe missed a Telstra phone bill? Now, prior to putting up my hand to serve my country, I was running the family business back in Melbourne. When I started to notice one thing, the decisions of governments encroaching on every single area of my life, I got sick of it. I got sick of seeing politicians make bad decisions and destroy our nation. I got sick of it. I had to do something. I had to take responsibility. I had to be a part of a solution rather than being a part of the problem. The time for complaining was over. It was over. I took action. I did something about it. I didn't put my hand up. I did not put my hand up because I thought it would be a nice career. That's not why I did it. I put my hand up because I was afraid. That's why. I feared. what the political class would do to this beautiful country, our beautiful country, if ordinary people didn't stand up to have their voices heard. That's why I did it. If ordinary people like us in this room didn't push back, that's why I did it. Now, I get the sense that most of you here in this room feel the same way. Am I right or wrong? I knew I was right. It's a good crowd. It's a good crowd. Now, the price of refusing to participate in politics is to be governed by your inferiors. That's the price. That's the price. Let me give you some examples quickly. The economy is destroyed. Groceries are up. Fuel is up. Power bills are up. Interest rates are up. Rents are up. Albo is up. As in up and away. The guy's never here. Where is the Prime Minister? I have no idea. Do you know? I don't know. Our nation is in $1 trillion of debt. We are ceding our sovereignty to globalist organisations. The innocence of children is being destroyed on our watch. Our national security is being threatened by those to the north. The government right now is attempting to censor speech it doesn't like. We have the threat of net zero that is being posed to our nation right now. Our nation is being destroyed because good people have been too polite, too timid, too afraid to speak up. Enough. This must end. The voices of ordinary people, it's starting to rise. That's what's happening. You're rising up. Now I'm calling for your voice to become a thunderous roar. A roar for responsibility. A roar for decency. A roar for Australian values. For freedom. For good old-fashioned common sense. And I promise you this. If each of us here uses whatever platform that we have, the family dinner table, a conversation over your neighbour's fence, the local community group, the work lunchroom, and you have the courage and the strength to say aloud what we're all thinking privately, Canberra will have to listen. They'll have to listen. Now, our country has many problems. We know that, but here's the good thing. These problems, they were created by men and women, and as such, they can be solved by men and women if we are courageous, if we use our voice, if we are strong in the face of adversity. Our country and our people, it will benefit. It will benefit. Now, the challenges that we face are many, but we can do something about it. We can do something about it. You are, in fact, doing something about it right now, by taking a greater interest in the political process. You are doing something about it every time you use your voice, every time you are strong, and every time you show courage in the face of adversity. Remember, look around. You're not alone. You're not alone. Together, ladies and gentlemen, we will make a difference. Together, we will stand up. Together, we will create change. Together, we will make a better tomorrow. And yes, together, we will save Australia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to keep Senator Babet for a few minutes longer because I know that everybody wants a little bit more. Please take a seat. Senator, thank you, first of all, for being here. Now, a couple of questions for the audience. I know that this is a question that so many people have, and that is, did you imagine, let's just say 5 or 10 years ago, that you'd be sitting here today serving in the Australian Senate?
Absolutely not. It was never on my mind. I never wanted to do it. It's something that I didn't even think about once. I was quite happy living my life before. I was quite happy working in the small family real estate business that we have back in Melbourne. But you know what? Like I said on stage before during my speech, I knew that I had to take action. I knew that I had to be courageous. I knew that I had to show strength, like the name of this event tonight. And I had to do something about it. Because like I mentioned, the time for inaction is over. The time for inaction is done. If we're inactive, and this stands for all of us here, then the people that are in charge today will continue doing exactly what they're doing now if you don't stop them. Believe you me, I know these people, I've met them, and in my personal opinion, they don't have our best interests at heart.
Yeah, and I think that we can all definitely agree. What, if anything, was concerning to you prior to throwing your hat in the ring with the prospect of public life, and what did you do to overcome those concerns?
I guess I'm someone that is a bit of a private person. I didn't want to have my life on display to be scrutinized, to be looked at, to be yelled at in the street, for example, because I believe that women don't have penises, right? This is the kind of stuff that I've got to put up with. But at the end of the day, you know what I thought? They don't have penises. Okay, fact check me. Let's get the fact check going. But look, at the end of the day, I had to push past that because I think that Australia is important and Australia is worth saving. So a bit of my background, I'm a migrant. I wasn't born here. I came here when I was very young. So my parents brought me to Australia for a better life. And a better life we have had. Australia's a great country. And to see the country that I love so much, very, very slowly, over time, be ripped apart and be destroyed and lose the values that made it so great in the first place, that really hurts me. It hurts me a lot. So I guess I'm doing this because I want to leave a better Australia behind than what I found it when I came here. And, I hope that you can all understand, and I hope that you all do the same.
Has Parliament been a smooth ride so far, or have you faced challenges? If so, can you talk about a couple of those challenges? What were they, and what did you do to counteract them?
There are always challenges in Parliament House. Look, I guess the biggest issue that I have, and this is a big one, I go in that place and I see people in there make decisions that don't benefit Australia. They make decisions that put us second, third, fourth down the trough. And that shits me to tears. Pardon my French. It shits me to tears. And thank you. And look, I just wish that everyone in that place was as patriotic as I was. And they may pretend to be on TV or in their TV, their radio interviews and things like that. But I guarantee you they're not. Because they prove it in the decisions that they make. They put us second, third, and fourth down the trough, like I said. And the other thing that I'd like to mention as well about Parliament House is don't think that these people are better than you, are smarter than you, more intelligent or whatever it is. No, they're not. They're just regular, everyday people, but they like to pretend. They have delusions of grandeur, in my opinion. A lot of them do anyway. So the takeaway from this is that you can do it. You can be sitting in Canberra after the next election. You can be sitting on your council board. You could be sitting on your school board or whatever it is. Don't let fear stop you. Be strong, be courageous.
Hear, hear. All right, now, let's just say we have some people in the audience right now. They're feeling inspired. They know they could be doing something more for our country. But of course, we do experience at times that little voice that holds us back, that stops us from taking the next step. If you had some people like that in front of you right now, what advice would you give them?
I'd say this. I'd say, look, you know where the country's headed. You know, you're not stupid. You know exactly where it's going. Are you willing to leave that country there for the generation that will come next? Are you willing to leave that there for, if you have children, for your children, or for your children's children, or for your nephews, or your nieces, or whatever it is? What kind of world do you want to leave for them? And then you always got to think, we had 16-year-old boys going to war over in Europe, pretending that they were of age to go and fight for freedoms that we all enjoy today. And you're telling me that you can't, throw your hand up to run for your local council? You can't volunteer to hand out how to vote cards next time at the next election? You can't be more active and, potentially call your local member of parliament or your senator and say, these are my concerns, I'm coming to see you right now, or can I make an appointment? You can't do that. You can't be in the ear of your local state MP and say, I'm not happy with what you're doing, when boys were going and dying in trenches over in World War II. I mean, you have to do more. Whatever you're doing now, I'm going to tell you now, it's not enough. It's not enough. You need to do 10 times more than what you're doing now. That goes for me as well. We've got to always be looking for ways to do more. And it's not hard. Once you begin, it's easy after that. But you just got to begin.
Before we wrap this up, Senator, what is the best way for people to support you in your service in Parliament?
The best thing that you can do for me right now is by being more active in your circles of influence. Now, I'm not telling you to get on a soapbox outside and, get a sign, the world is ending or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying to do that. But you have friends, you have family, you have neighbors, you have a local group of people that you interact with. Start with that first. If you're not doing anything, start with that. I'm not saying go and preach to people because that doesn't work. I'm saying speak to them about the issues that are happening in our communities today, whatever those issues might be around you, and get them interested in the political process. Take accountability for what's happening around you. And if you do that, we will go a long way towards fixing our country, because the issue, like I mentioned in my speech, is a lot of people are afraid to say what's on their mind. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be quiet. They want you to think, oh, I don't want to get cancelled. Oh, I don't want to say that women don't have penises because someone's going to get mad. I don't want to say that. Say it. Say it. Be brave. Be strong. Courage is contagious.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Senator Ralph Babet.